Welcome again to something new. This time we're starting a podcast series. It's me and B, and because of that, we're calling it the Pollination Podcast, where we share information. I don't know, we basically talk about different conspiracy theories, kind of like brain teasers, all this fun stuff. It's basically just us talking while I play some video games so you can enjoy and learn and engage a little bit more. It's something new to the channel. I think maybe some other people would like watching, just to add some variety. So yeah, let's get into this mostly uncut raw footage of us talking. B
Why?
and I am Kaduceo, and today we are going to talk about some conspiracies while I play Rocket League.
Conspiracies amongst other things.
Yeah, I was going to talk about everything.
Alright, first I have a question for you.
What is your
Before all-
question?
When you make a peanut butter and jelly,
Mhm.
do you use two different knives? Do you re-dip your knives? Like, what do you do?
I get out the peanut butter, right?
Mhm.
Open it up. It's got to be creamy, not chunky, because I don't like
Alright, I
chewing
didn't
stuff.
ask for all this. I just asked what you do with the knife.
So I open up the creamy peanut butter. Jif, hopefully. Organic.
Oh my god.
I take the knife, I get as much peanut butter as I want because I know the amount, put it on the bread, use a napkin to clean the knife, put the peanut butter away, get out the jelly, pick as much jelly as I want, and then I'm done. And then I clean the knife.
You're wilding out.
Why?
Because, okay, so I've always done this since I was a kid. I always take out the bread, I put down the peanut butter, I use the bread as a napkin.
Ah, okay.
I don't use a napkin. I
Yeah,
use
no,
the
I use a
other
paper
slice
towel.
of bread.
Yeah, see,
I smear it off, and then I get my jelly, and
I can't
then
do
I
that.
go amongst my day.
they gotta be mutually exclusive pieces
and
of
I
bread.
cut the bread with that knife,
I don't cut my
because
sandwiches
I like
ever.
to cut my sandwich.
Nah.
Too much to hold.
Nope.
That giant sandwich.
See, I got big hands.
That's what I
so.
made for dinner. That's what I made for dinner tonight.
Alright.
Yeah, so that's why the question was on my mind.
Alright.
All right.
So,
So, have you ever heard of a lady named Elizabeth Holmes?
I've heard of Home Alone, but no. Not Elizabeth
even-
Holmes.
Not even a close relation.
Why? What's Elizabeth Holmes?
Okay, so it's not a conspiracy, like this was true, but I just think it's like along the same line. Very interesting. So she was this girl who like grew up very smart, gifted, just kept going through the ranks. I'm pretty sure she actually dropped out of high school and just went straight to college, like from like a really young age. I remember hearing that before. And so she went to college, she was working for some people, for some different companies. And so she created this thing called Theranos, sorry.
Okay.
And it was like basically like instead of having to go get your blood drawn, have you ever heard of this before?
No.
Okay. So basically, instead of going and having to get your blood drawn, like in your arm, because she thought that was like the worst thing on planet Earth, and I do agree with her.
I don't.
You would just go. I know you don't, but that's how I feel. You would just go to like CVS or anywhere that would have a Theranos machine. You would put this basically like, if you know when diabetics prick their finger for their blood sugar, from like one drop of blood, it could tell you if you had cancer, or like anything. It could tell you everything that's in your blood line, whatever. It was crazy. Crazy technology. So she says that she's working on this for years. And she actually becomes a billionaire. I'm pretty sure she was in
Did she ever
30
make
Under
it?
30. Okay, well listen, this is what
What?
happened. So she's like starts becoming really she starts gaining a lot of notoriety because of this invention because people think that it's such a, amazing
Sick
thing to be
invention,
coming
yeah,
out
yeah.
with. Yeah. And so sorry, I'm trying to keep track of myself, like where I'm going, where I'm gonna talk about first, because there's like a crazy twist. Not twist, just something. She was in Forbes. She was the world's youngest self-made woman billionaire. She
Dang.
was worth an estimated $4.5 billion, which is crazy.
That is pretty dang crazy.
So she got a ton of people to invest in Theranos, in this whole scheme, basically. She had all these people working for her, but it was like the office, it was in Silicon Valley, if that's what you would call it, I guess like a lab.
Uh-huh.
It was like super high security on the inside. Like only certain passes were allowed into certain rooms, like certain clearances. It was just like really locked down, but they were supposed to still be researching all this stuff and like developing this thing. And so they get like a ton of investors because, this is such a big deal, like millions of dollars worth of investment into this thing. And even though a lot of people were saying that it was basically impossible, I remember she made this whole like argument with a professor of something involving health science. I don't know what it was, but I remember that she like made this whole argument, and he was like, "This is literally impossible technology that you're talking about," and she was like, "Nah, fam, you wrong. I'm gonna prove you wrong." And obviously that didn't turn out that we wanted it to.
So she just had really high aspirations for what could be done.
Well, I really do think, like, I personally think that she really did think that she could create this technology. And I feel like the story is kind of like she got in too deep. Like, she didn't come out early enough. Like, the money was already in it,
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel like. But I could be I could be wrong. Maybe she knew the whole time.
Did she have a
the
background
technology.
of like biomed or anything?
No, she didn't have any degree.
See, I fully believe she just wanted people's money then.
Really?
Yep.
That's interesting.
Because for
She was
someone
very
who
gifted. She was very smart, and like people recognized, like people in the scientific and health community recognized how intelligent she was.
True, but I think it gets into a weird spot because either she was intelligent enough to know it would never work and that she could make money off of it, or she thought maybe it was possible, but without any knowledge of how things work, it's hard for me to believe.
Yeah.
Like, you can be naturally
I
gifted, but
understand.
you can't be naturally gifted enough to know how biology works. It's not something humans just know because we can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It's a good point.
So she was going to Stanford University at 19 years old. And
Stanford?
she dropped, yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
she dropped out at 19 years old to found Theranos in 2003, pitching its technology as a cheaper way to run dozens of blood tests with just the prick of a finger and a few droplets of blood. That's on Fox Business. Don't come for me. But that is the truth.
What was her degree at Stanford?
I want to say like medical technology, but I would assume that's what it is. But
See, I would too, but little did you know she was a psychology or business major and learned,
no,
hey,
she wasn't a
this is how to
psychology
play
major.
people.
She has 0 college degree. When I actually look it up, it's really hard to find this.
To find stuff, yeah. I mean,
to find what her major was, I guess because
she might have been
no one cared about her.
non-determined. Or she might not have had a major, like a decided major.
That's
Which
true.
would also lead me to believe it was a scam.
Yeah, that's true.
Because she could have thought, I don't like college. I don't know what I want to do with my life. I'm just going to say I have it figured out. And then boom. Now she's a billionaire.
It's a very interesting perspective because I felt completely the opposite. That she was very intentional, in my opinion. She definitely wanted to be a success. I don't think personally that she ever wanted this to happen. I just found something. I don't know what the major is. I can't really find it right now. But so this was something that people find very interesting about this case. And there's like 3 things that I would say really show that she was being fraudulent. But there was this guy, Sunny Belwani. Sunny's not his real name. It's Ramesh, I think is how you say it. He was the former president and chief operating officer of Theranos. He and Elizabeth were dating.
Okay.
So, but they weren't dating before he became this person. He got the job because they were dating. So he also got charged by federal authorities for operating the business as a multi-million-dollar scheme to defraud investors, doctors, and patients. He still says that he's innocent. So he also got a lot of charges, and that's why I feel like he is very, he's the kind of person too who I feel like they were in too deep. They already had all this money invested in it, and people were, pushing for it to start coming out. But basically, okay, I gotta get back on subject because I was on a roll. So they start putting these Theranos machines in CVS's, and you could go and get your blood drawn there, and then they would run it through the Theranos machines, but they never worked. Like, they would come out so crazy or inconclusive be like totally off, like telling people that they have something totally different. I think there's actually a story out there. I remember seeing one where somebody got a cancer reading and they didn't have cancer. So they got this extreme scare of their life and they didn't even have cancer.
Yeah.
Like, what? I mean, obviously it ended well, but that's horrible. Okay. So they're putting these things all through development, everything. She has a whole team working for her, but everything is very hush-hush, and her and her boyfriend are basically running this thing. So she, some of the weird factors about her, to give you a better image of her. She was this blonde, tall woman. She's 5'7", 5'7", blonde, young woman, obviously. She was only 19 when she started this. She had these, blue eyes that were so intense. They were so big and, intense. There's a video out there that gets used all the time of her, and she's, looking right into the camera, and it's so insane. She just has this piercing gaze. And so she always dressed like Steve Jobs. She was obsessed with him. She wore black turtlenecks only, and I think whatever. Doesn't he always wear jeans or khakis?
Yeah, jeans. Yeah, jeans, black turtlenecks.
Okay, yeah, that's exactly what she would wear. Any interview that you see her, anything before everything went down, she was always in that outfit. So she said that he was her idol, and that she really looked up to him. So she was like, oh, it's a simplistic way of living. She basically would quote him every time people asked why she dressed like that. But the weird part about her is that she deepened her voice. It's the #1 search thing when you look her up is Elizabeth Holmes' voice. So even though her voice probably just sounded like that middle range average woman voice, she would literally talk down here in every single interview. She's talking so deeply.
Yeah.
And it's so weird. And people say that they've heard her real voice or whatever, but I don't know. I definitely think that that is a super weird thing that just shows what a weird person she was.
See, my theory is I've kind of built a profile off of her. So there's this 19-year-old girl, right? Either in college or unhappy with her life. Maybe her. I need to know her parents' financial standing and everything. Unhappy with her life. You know, wants to be rich or famous. Right. So maybe everything was just kind of mundane.
Rich, but they weren't
so she wanted more. Who knows? So she decides, hey, you know, it would be a good idea. I don't like getting my blood drawn. What if there was a better way to do it? Didn't have the backing, didn't have anything. Fed up with college and life, whatever. She quits college, says, let me find someone who's famous that has made it. So she obviously, everyone knows who Steve Jobs is, creates an iPhone. Bet she had an iPhone all her life. So she starts mimicking him.
Throw that in there.
I bet you she has. So she starts mimicking him in the way he quotes things, his persona, how he carries himself, to make people think that she's this entrepreneurial figure and that she has stuff figured out.
Well, she says that the voice is because it makes people take her more seriously, but she says that she's not faking her voice.
I think that it's an intimidation factor.
The voice?
Yeah.
Why
she wants to be she wants to have a deep voice to be taken more seriously, and to like to have more people respect her, I guess. That's my guess. Maybe not my guess, but my understanding. Think about when does a girl ever want a deeper voice? Never, right?
So he's never. She was born in 1984 and he was born in 1965. Her boyfriend. So they were quite the age gap. Makes you wonder.
1964 and 1965? What?
No, 1964, 1984, and 1965.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
So he was a lot older than her.
Yeah, right now she's 37, and right now he's 55.
Let's see.
It was an interesting thing.
Why does someone seek out someone of a higher age?
I think that it was because he was already a successful person in that same world. And I do feel like they probably did have a connection, like in a certain sense, but I definitely don't really understand if it was just because she thought people would take her more seriously because of him, or
I feel like
I don't think that they came out about their relationship for a long time.
I feel like she might have gotten in over her head. She made this facade, made this fake business to gain either money, popularity, whatever she wanted, respect from her family, and then started not knowing what to do. People were asking serious questions. She was starting to get trapped or like confused, you know. So she developed this attachment to this older person that's established, done it before, knows what they're doing, and can bring them into the business to help where she's lacking, you know. Kind of, a little bit.
Guess when they met.
I have no idea. Her business started getting popular?
No. He met her when she was a senior in high school. Faith in her.
Or he was a pedophile.
Well, yeah, but I think ultimately because she dropped out of high school at that point. I mean, she dropped out of college, so she was very, very smart before then.
I agree.
In a lot of sense, it is well known she was a very smart person.
What kind of intelligence was it?
Intelligence?
Yeah, was it like she was smart in a specific field, like an anatomy field or something, or was she just, people just said she was smart, like she carried herself well, she had a good diction? She knew how to.
Yeah.
Which one? That one? Second one? Or was she like
Mm-hmm.
specifically known for being smart at something? Like she's incredibly good at math.
No, she was just a very intelligent person who carried herself very well. She was a good speaker. She was in drawing. Um, I'm getting so many recommendations for like people like Billy McFarland and Caroline Calloway, and it's so funny because they're all like, now that I'm looking at them, they're all exactly the same. They're all scammers.
I feel like there's got to be a mentality there.
Well, like, okay, let's talk about Billy McFarland for a second. So Billy McFarland's the one who created Firefest and, you know, burned it to the ground.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the same mentality every time. They get these investors in this great idea. You know, people are like so excited for it and they know that they could do it right, but then they're in too deep and they start either getting selfish or, you know, because
Right.
it all comes from being selfish, but they start getting selfish and they start getting greedy, and then they're like, oh, you know what? I'm actually not going to do what I made all these promises to investors for. And then they end up being a fraud. And they all get away with it. Billy McFarland, I think, is out of jail, or he gets out of jail this year. And he's only 28. He didn't lose any of his life.
That's true.
And she's still not in jail. Her trial hasn't even happened yet.
When did this
It got pushed
happen?
back again for coronavirus a couple of years ago.
True. It's crazy.
But trials take a really long time. And she's out because there are a lot of videos where you can find of people like going up to her in public.
Yeah.
Because I think for a while she was living in New York after everything. And she would be in like Central Park walking around with her new boyfriend, and it's like she's out. Still living her life. It's crazy. I mean, obviously you're always going to be affected, but
that is true. She didn't cause any loss of life. Like, yes, there's emotional damages, psychological damages, all this stuff.
Well, she did steal a lot of money.
True.
From a lot
but
of
she didn't
successful
murder
people.
anyone, which is good.
No, she's not a murderer. But I do think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting case.
I agree.
But she's a very weird person to me. Like, she just gives me the weirdest vibes. It's like she wanted to be Elon Musk, but she ended up just being Billy McFarland.
That's the thing. She wanted to be Steve Jobs so bad.
Yeah.
A lot of it. I bet you if you looked up her family life, there was a lack of attention. Large attention deficit. If they were middle class, maybe the parents had to work enough to be that financially stable as they wanted. Maybe they had issues, whatever. So she lacked not only uniqueness and like some quality that defined who she was, but she also lacked like praise and attention. So she saw someone who was famous, who did something amazing to help people. She thought, hey, but if I help people and do something good, even with the purest of intentions, but just couldn't do it, you know? Just had no idea what she was doing, knew that from the start, but just was so determined that this would be beneficial, this would be a good thing, I'm not doing anything wrong, that it happened. And that's why she's so fine now afterwards. She doesn't feel bad for harming everyone. She doesn't, now that everyone knows, it's not like she's trying to hide anything, just keep it a secret. She just genuinely was misled by her own thoughts.
Yeah, but I don't want to give people who do things like this, like, allowance, like,
the benefit of the doubt. I agree.
Yeah, I don't.
I was just saying that's why she can live with herself. No. I'm saying she might be delusional and not think she did anything wrong to begin with. Like, if she knew from the start she had no ability to create this, no idea what to do, she could probably still live with herself just fine, being like, well, it was supposed to be a good thing, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, she does stand by the fact that she thinks that it was not a big deal or wasn't hurting anyone. But ultimately, okay, so I just looked it up. Walmart and their investors lost over $600 million on Theranos because they were one of the companies that put the Theranos machines in their stores and had invested so much because they wanted to see like where you got it done. and then several other high-profile investors also lost over $600 million as well. There's like just lists of people who lost over 600 million, which I'm assuming
It's probably the buy-in price, yeah.
Number. Yeah, must be the standard number to buy it. So yeah, so she is currently going through trial for massive fraud. And she's supposed to stand trial some point in 2020 whenever Coronication ends.
All right, what else you got? Let's pick a new topic.
All right, let me ask you a few questions. So, do you think that the conspiracy about Chuck E. Cheese putting their pizzas together is true?
What is the conspiracy?
You've never heard this before?
Nope.
Oh my god. Okay, so the conspiracy is that Shane Dawson made a huge video about it. That's why I figure everybody just knows about this.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't watch any Shane Dawson.
Well, you're such an old man. Like, you don't know what's going on with the kids. I get it.
Not at all.
It's that when you go to Chuck E. Cheese and you don't finish the pizza, they take the extra slices and put them back together into a new pizza because the lines never match when you get a Chuck E. Cheese pizza.
I see. You know what my guess is?
What?
Wait, what do you mean by the lines? Like the lines between the slices?
Yeah, like look up any Chuck E. Cheese pizza. It never matches.
Wait, let me look at a picture here.
Like the crust will stick out too far on one slice, and then the next it will be like too small. It's really weird.
You know what my belief is?
What?
I believe they make a bunch of pies, and they probably have them preemptively sitting out, or they go through a more automated process than most most restaurants or pizza places. So they make all these preemptive pizzas, have them all sit there, and then when the time comes to take it to a customer, some of the pieces might be cold, or they might have lost some cheese or gotten damaged. They throw them away because they have such a surplus of pies getting made automatically. They can just take whatever they want from whatever ones they have.
I don't agree with you.
Why not?
I don't think that they put the pieces together that people don't finish. I don't think that. Because I think that would have been found out a really, really long time ago. But I do think that it's like they caught all these pizza pictures on the wrong day, you know?
Yeah.
And it could totally be wrong. And maybe you're right. I don't know. I don't work for them. But I do think that a huge corporation like that, there's absolutely no way that is real.
It could be a specific restaurant. Like, it could be one Chuck E. Cheese, not multiple.
I think really it could happen to anyone. And
I'm saying that the pictures sourced from.
Did you look them up?
Oh yeah, I've seen them, but I like. What's to say they're not all from same one Chuck E. Cheese? Was a really bad work, like really bad whatchamacallit, service.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like it's part of the gag, because cheese doesn't always line up, and it's like different sizes and different shapes, and it's like part of the thing. That's my new theory right there. After looking at it, it just reminded me of a thing of cheese, like a block of cheese.
What?
Looking at the pizza reminded me of a block of cheese for some reason. So my thing is they do it on purpose.
A block of cheese.
Like when you get the triangle shaped cheese block thing, you know? And there's like the holes.
What?
And everything. I don't know. I just saw it, okay, in my head.
None of that makes any sense. What would that have to do with what you're talking about?
Well, they intentionally take different sized pieces of pizza and put them together to create this disorganized shape, like cheese is disorganized.
All right, well, let's move on because that wasn't really what I wanted to talk about. I just wanted your opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you think about the Mandela effect? Do you remember Nelson Mandela dying?
Yeah.
When?
Keep going.
Okay.
I remember him, sorry.
Do you remember what year you think Nelson Mandela died?
Not at all.
Not exactly year, but do you remember learning about him in school? Or...
Very vaguely. I feel like more psychology than anything else.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I recognize the name, but I thought it was from psychology, not from history.
No, he was a human rights leader, I believe.
Oh, probably didn't learn about him in psychology.
Well, you might have learned about the Mandela effect in psychology. That would make sense because it is a psychological thing. Anyway, he died in 2013. Do you remember that? I remember it so vividly.
He died in what?
In 2013.
2013. No, I don't remember that.
All right. Well, you're a terrible example for this.
I am. I'm sorry.
Anyway.
I don't know the story.
Okay. Well, this is a really big this is like the #1 conspiracy theory in my head. I feel like everybody knows this. So Nelson Mandela died in 2013, but countless people distinctly remember him dying in prison in the 1980s. When I learned that he died, the first thing I thought was, hasn't he been dead for like a super long time?
So you know what's
like,
crazy?
I was so confused.
I had absolutely no remembrance of him or when he died or anything, but when you said, when do you think he died? I was going to say 1986.
That's weird.
That's funny.
So we're going to talk about a few different ones. How do you remember in Looney Tunes, how do they spell tune?
Toons.
No.
It's Tunes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I can see Tunes, but I said
What?
tunes.
No way, you're lying.
No, I can, because it's with the dun 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 dun.
I don't believe it.
Dun, dun. I can literally see it. And the
You're
what's up,
fronting on my
Doc?
buddy,
I'm
but
not.
okay.
I promise you. I promise you.
I know you're lying, but it's cool.
Is that not the name of it? Because I swear to you, I see Tunes.
Yeah. Well, that is what it is in reality, but so many people remember it as Toons. Do you know what the Berenstain Bears is?
Yes.
Okay, how do they spell Berenstain?
Bear and Steen.
What?
Bear and Steen. I don't remember how they spelled it. I don't remember that at all.
How do you think that they spell it? How do you think you spell it?
Bearinstine.
Alright, well, you're already wrong.
Is it Bare or something?
Okay, so it's Berenstain Bears, not Berenstain Bears. Pronounced Berenstain.
Oh, Stain. Stain.
Yes. But I remember it Stein. Okay, does Curious George have a tail?
No.
I feel like I should have presented that differently. So a lot of people think that he did. I watched Curious George a lot.
Same.
So to me, I knew he didn't have a tail.
Same.
But it does look so much better with a tail, so I don't know why they...
I've brought up the fact that he doesn't have a tail, especially in the movie where he like steals the ruby in the beginning and they play that song. I remember watching that as a little kid.
His TV show, his movie?
There was a movie. Yeah. I said in the beginning of his movie.
The movie.
Yeah.
You just said in the beginning.
I did. I said in the movie. I cut out.
God created the earth.
No. In the beginning of his movie, he steals this ruby or something, and the man with the yellow hat is looking for it, and it's he has no tail. And I brought it up before, like, wait a sec, most monkeys have tails. Why do you have no tail?
Interesting.
So I didn't know that one.
How do you spell Febreze?
Febrese or something.
No.
Z-E,
There's
sorry.
only one E.
Oh, that's weird. Is that S or Z?
Febreze. Everybody knows it's Z.
I thought you were trying to
But
trick
the fact
me.
that
Reverse
there's only
psychology,
one
alright?
E. No, I feel like I'm giving away too much, and you always need to be right. So you're like getting this like complex with me every single time I ask you.
No, I'm trying to see how it could be like deceiving. What would be deceiving about the word Febreze?
Deceiving. It's not about being deceiving. It's
No,
about how you remember things.
Yeah, your memory deceives you because you think it should be Breeze because breeze is spelled with two E.
It's
No,
about how you remember things.
yeah, your memory
Oscar Mayer, how do you remember? How do you spell that?
Oscarmyer.
Myer.
Yes.
That's not even how people think it was spelled. Oscar Mayer is how it's actually spelled, but people remember it being Meyer.
Isn't that what I just said?
No.
What did I say?
Said Meyer.
Oh, I definitely meant Meyer. I meant the E. Oh.
How do you spell Skechers?
Skechers.
Mm-hmm.
Sketchers.
No, there's no T in it.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I'm glad I finally got you.
You caught me on all of them. The only one I got was Curious George and the first one. I fully believe I got the first one. Looney Tunes. Because it was all about the music, dude. That's why it was tunes.
Mm-hmm.
I fully believe it.
What is Pikachu's tail look like?
A lightning bolt.
Okay, more descriptive than that.
It's like yellow and brown, and it's like a lightning bolt. It's bigger at the top.
So there's no black on it.
I don't know what you mean by black.
I hate when you're like this, where you're like, I have to be right.
I mean, no. I'll say no. I can't remember any distinct black. Let me.
Okay, I'm asking. I thought there's no way that you get this wrong, and I was right. You're right. It's orange and brown. But a lot of people remember him having a black tip of his tail.
I see.
I remember him having a black tip on his tail, and I watched a lot of Pokemon.
That's true.
So, yeah, I am surprised by that one. That's a new one I've never seen before. Also, my computer just froze. So,
oh, nice.
So the Fruit of the Loom logo,
Mm-hmm.
is it just fruit?
Isn't there like... Oh god, what's a brown fruit? Kiwi? There's something brown in there.
Cornucopia?
Yeah, the horn thing.
There's not one there. Can you believe that?
Nah, there's something brown in there, I swear.
No, I know. So do I. So do a lot of people. I remember there being a cornucopia so vividly. I remember seeing the Fruit of the Loom commercial as a kid and thinking, like, that was the first time I remember being like, what's a cornucopia? And
Damn.
there's not one there. Isn't that nuts? That one's crazy. Okay, is there any part of C-3PO's body that's silver? Any outright part of his body?
Well,
Not
this
his little bald. Don't tell me that.
No, this is hard to distinguish because are you talking about just the movies?
Yeah.
Because, all right.
That's the old movie.
When he was first built by Anakin, he was all silver, so technically yes. And also, there is a scene in the movie where he has a silver arm, so yeah.
No, he actually has a silver leg.
Leg, either way, it's a silver piece
all
of his
the
body.
time.
All right.
Oh, right. You can't be wrong.
I said all right.
Sure. How do you spell the Flintstones?
Oh god. Philn stones.
What does Forrest Gump say in his movie? His classic line.
Run.
No,
Forrest,
other
run.
one. Number one.
Life is like a box of chocolates. You'll never know what you're gonna get.
Nope. Its life was like a box of chocolates.
I've never seen Forrest Gump.
You've never seen Forrest
No,
Gump?
I haven't. Okay.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter either way.
But yeah,
because
that's
it's been quoted
exactly
1,000 times and it's wrong.
And I feel like it's been quoted wrong, so that's what throws everyone off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, obviously. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's been quoted wrong 1,000 times.
Oh, what?
Now it's too late.
Sorry, my boost just quit. It's too late for that now.
Okay. In Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs,
Yes.
what was the line that the evil queen said to her mirror?
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
No, it's actually magic mirror on the wall.
Right. Right. I actually kind of remember that because someone did something about the reason they took the word magic out.
Why?
All right. Well, thank you guys. This was the first official podcast. Gonna be very minimal editing, so only stuff that'll be cut out is stuff I don't want you to hear. Wow. We should start doing these live.
Oh my god, it's gonna be this long.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be like 47 minutes.
Wow, I thought it was gonna be short. That's super exciting.
Nah, podcasts are long.
Well, I didn't think it was gonna be like a podcast. I thought you were gonna make it like a video where we just talk about stuff.
I'll probably cut out
That's why
slow
I was
points, things you're researching.
Yeah.
So it might go down to like 30, but I'm not going to do like funny edits or there's a lot of background and talking that
No,
has to
I
happen.
didn't think that either, but I just was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just thought that it was gonna be something different, but I'm happy.
Me
Whatever.
too. All right. Check
Well,
out.
if you made it this far, thanks for listening.
You got to set a like goal.
I don't need to do that.
25
like
likes. 25 likes and
Go
I'll shave
for
my
it.
eyebrows. Boom.
Me too.
We'll each do an eyebrow.
Yeah,
And then we'll
only
collect
one.
the hair and use hair glue and put it on the other person's eyebrow.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. 25 likes. We'll do 35 because that's no way that's going to happen. All right. I will.
25. Give the people a
25?
break.
Nah, I'm not trying to shave my eyebrow. All right. That's it. Adios.
All right. Peace out.